All right, we're going to get started. Thank you, everybody who has taken part of your evening to tune in to our Team Relentless call. I always open up all of my calls to the public. That way, other coaches who need to, hear the words that are being spoken on each week's team call, because we do a different topic with a different guest speaker, it gives them a chance to tune in, because I know there's a lot of coaches out there who are orphan coaches, or, maybe their upline talks about one topic a little bit more than the other, and there's something they need help with. So do know that you're always welcome to join our calls every week. It is typically on Tuesdays during the summer and Thursdays the rest of the year. But next week we have Shannon Galladay on the call, and she's going to be really talking about how she has managed her business, as a mom, and because we've had a lot of, discussions in our group for Team Relentless that, it's really hard to juggle everything. So next week, tune in, but she's only available on Thursday. So mark your calendars that next Thursday is the call instead of on Tuesday. Wanted to go through a couple little announcements and reminders before we get started with Melanie. I was just on a webinar today that was open to elite coaches discussing this upcoming summit. If you've been to Summit in the past, you're going to be in for a completely different experience. I, myself, don't even really know what to expect, because we're doing it in a different location. And last year we had a little under 10,000 coaches, and this year we're going to have 25,000 coaches. So this is going to be totally different. It's a new experience, and with everything, and this kind of ties into the call that we have tonight, is to go in with a positive mind and don't expect perfection, and know that there's going to be some bumps in the road, and that corporate always puts a lot of time and effort and hard work into making every experience for us a positive one. But there's going to be kinks, just like with anything in life. But I hope you just learn to go with the flow, and you go there and you soak up the energy that is always there at any corporate event, and that you really go in with an open mind, really trying to absorb all the information and not only just listen to it and hear it, but apply it in your life. But as I was saying, it's going to be a lot of people at Summit this year. So we have two different tracks, a blue and a silver track. And then within each track, there are going to be different setups of workshops. It's going to be the same topics at each workshop, through the blue track or the silver track. And basically what it is, from what I understand, is that everybody is going to pick a track, and then instead of having to do, and this is only going to make sense to you if you've attended a summit in the past, but instead of having to rush from one room to another to get to the workshop you want to be at, you actually stay in the same spot, and the speakers rotate. So you'll want to make sure that you plan ahead in advance. Take a look at this. If you have any questions, go to the frequent asked questions. So that means if you're in your Coach Online office, scroll to the bottom, hit frequent asked questions, and then type in 2940. And this is going to give you all the information. So make sure that you go in and look at it and pick what what track you want to be on and what room you want to be in. And this is going to be based on the speakers that you choose. Again, all of the workshops are going to be the same topic. It's just going to be a different face and a different set of lips delivering this message. If you are a 2014 Elite or Premier coach, or a 5-star above coach, you're going to be able to register on the, what is it? What was the date? Hold on. I didn't write it down. Crap, I didn't write it down. I'm sorry. I think it's the 8th. I'll have to look, or you can look at the frequent asked questions. And then on the 15th, I believe, of this month, you can register for if you're, general registration. One thing that they let me know is that once you have selected what track you're on, that you're locked into that. So if you decide you want to see another speaker, or if one of your fellow coaches, your personally sponsored coaches, registers for the silver and you registered for the blue, and all of your teams on the silver, no matter what you say, no matter how much you beg, they're not going to change it. So make sure that you take a look at this, get with your team, get with your personally sponsored coaches that are attending, and come up with what you guys want to do, where you want to attend. The same thing about workouts. You get to select 2 workouts during the summit. You get to choose one on the 16th, which is Thursday, or the 17th on Friday. They ask that you please select a different trainer. That way everybody gets a chance to move around and have a selection. So that means don't register for 2 Shaun T workouts. mix it up. There's going to be, I think, 20 workouts, they said. Then we have the super workout, which they've done in Vegas in the past, and it's going to be in Nashville. I think they said Music City Hall. It was hard to take notes and look at the webinar. But it's going to be from 6 to 7:30 on Saturday. You don't have to register for that. Anybody can come. Now, a little clue, too, that they said, and I want you to remember this. If you're going with a spouse, then when you register for this, you have to register your spouse as well. If you're an elite, premier, or 5-star or above coach and you register for yourself the week ahead of time that you get to pre-register ahead of everybody else, you're going to want to make sure that you are right on it the next week when it opens up to the general public of the coaches that are registered, so that you get your spouse on the same track. If you wait till June 30th to register for the workshops, then you're going to be given a track and an assignment to each room depending on what's left over. So the biggest thing that with anything in this business or with coaching or even your weight loss or fitness journey, you really need to plan and be prepared and really jump right on it. One thing that I'll say about being a coach is that early bird gets the worm. And I've seen a lot of frustrated coaches over and over and over and over again, whether it be the summit early bird ticket or registration for the cruises or Success Club trips or, or even Super Saturdays where Carl's at. They wait because they think, oh, put it off. Procrastination is your enemy when it comes to these events. So make sure you mark your calendars, set an alarm. I even myself woke up an hour and a half too late to jump on board for the hotels that were available that were locked in at certain prices for coaches. And so because of that, we're staying like 12 miles from the event location. So make sure that if this is important to you, that you communicate with your team, you communicate with the people that you're wanting to be with, and that you get this done right away. And, and then if you don't get it done, that you keep a positive mind and, look at it that, hey, you're going to meet other coaches along the way, and that next time you'll plan and prepare ahead of time. There is 3 different tiers when you are registering. You're going to be able to register for the track you want and the building that you want to be in. Like for me, I know that I want to be in the grand ballroom on the blue track. I've already discussed this with the coaches that we're going to be staying in the same hotel and driving back and forth to the event together. So again, make sure that you are doing this. And then, the second part is going to be where you schedule your workouts. So the third part is where you're going to do shuttle passes and lunches. They gave us a sample menu of lunches. There's a spinach wrap, a turkey sandwich, and a, what was it? Oh, a chicken salad. They did say that if you didn't want the box lunches, then they will have healthier options there. But I know from the past going to Summit and everything is that there's a huge long line. So if you're an impatient person, or if, you're not going to bring snacks and you're going to be starving, make sure you get the box lunches. I think that would be probably a whole lot faster because, they move pretty fast and they try to stay organized and they're waiting and they're ready for the crowd to come than standing in line waiting for a restaurant. So that's just my input. So anyways, secondly is we are on the 2nd of the month. I've already hit Success Club because I was already gearing up for this. I've been practicing the 3 vital behaviors daily for 3.5 years. And so I suggest that, if you're the beginning of being a coach, or even if you've been a coach for, 1, 2, 3, 4 or more years, and you're struggling, make sure that you're going back and you're really embracing the 3 vital behaviors and you're doing this diligently every day, and that you're making it part of your routine, and that you are, getting a following, and that you are improving your social media marketing skills, and that you're marketing yourself versus the products, and that you're really shining out there as a positive person. That doesn't mean your life has to be perfect. That doesn't mean that you can't talk about, your ups and downs, and you don't have to just talk about the triumphs and the, victories you have. But, like I always tell everybody, if you were somebody else and they were watching your page, if they spent any time with you personally, would you want you to be your coach? And, go back and look at your posts. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this call. But I've been doing this. I've hit Success Club because of the fact that I didn't just wait till I found out what the sales were for June. I have been implementing this over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, I have had, success every month hitting Success Club. So if I can do it, you can do it. But it takes consistency and diligence and following up and not writing people off who may have told you no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times or for years. They will come around as long as you're consistent and persistent, and that you're really showing them that this is something that they can do and that they want to do alongside of you. We have major sales right now with 21-Day Fix and 21-Day Fix Extreme, and the 21-Day Fix and 21-Day Fix Extreme Kickstart Challenge packs. Check in your Coach Online office under the promotions tab, and it will show you everything there that you get. 21-Day Fix is a huge, huge, huge business builder. It is a game changer. It's easy for people to stay on track. It's simple nutrition, simple workouts. Share your progress. If you're not doing 21-Day Fix and you're kind of in limbo with your workouts, go back to the second vital behavior of be proof that the products work. Get started with 21-Day Fix. Get results in the first week, which we're in now, and then start sharing with people your progress day by day, week by week, and you'll hit Success Club at the end of the month. I want all of you to commit to helping 3 people this month. You can do it. It is way early in the month. It is possible, and you deserve it, and the people in your life that are following you deserve it as well. Right before I got on this call, I got a text from a high school friend who actually said, I'm going through something really tough right now, or actually I'll read it to you because this is going to tie into what is getting started on this call. Sorry. She said, I know you haven't heard from me in a while, but I'm going through something difficult, and I want to do something good for myself. So you and Beachbody came to mind. Wanted to touch base with you and find out about the new stuff. If you have a few minutes to talk, I'd appreciate it. And we text back a little bit. We're going to talk tomorrow. But you know, this just shows that people are watching you. Even if you haven't talked to somebody for, you know, months and months and months, even if you haven't seen them since you are a child, if they're watching you and they see that you are positive and that you've had this huge transformation with your life and your mindset, they're going to be drawn to you. When they're at their lowest of lows, whenever they are hurting, whenever they are struggling, they're going to come to you. Be that person that can help change the world. Be that person that believes in somebody and that helps pull them up from when they have hit rock bottom or they are at the depths of despair. Because Beachbody's done that for me. It's changed my whole mindset. My best friend made her why video today in our coach training group, and that's one thing that she said was that she finally realized, why not me? I've watched my best friend do this. I've watched it change her relationships with her family, with her kids, and she's a completely different person. Like she said, you weren't a bad person before, but you're even better now. And she wanted that for herself. And I saw from another coach that just joined the other 2 days ago that she said the same thing in the group, was that she has been wanting to coach for a long time, and now was finally the right time for her with her schedule and everything going on. And she saw what went on with our team. And even though she doesn't know a lot of people in our team personally, she's watched the interaction back and forth between us on social media, and she wanted to be part of it. So just remember, people are watching you, and the way you demonstrate yourself and the things that you share about your life really dictate if they choose you. There's 300,000 coaches right now. Make them choose you because you didn't give up on them, because you're positive. So my thing is, like I said, you don't have to not share negative things, but when you do, show them that you can come back. So with every setback to come back. So with that being said, I'm really pleased to introduce Melanie Bolen. She's a founding coach, and she said that she would love to speak on this topic because she's had this experience. So I wanted to turn you over to her. If you have any questions, ask them the event invite, and then we'll address it. Go ahead, Mona.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm assuming you can hear me okay now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Excuse me if I cough a little bit. I'm still kind of getting over the last of some stuff. First of all, I want to say thank you to Mindy and thank you to all of you guys. I'm honored to be on this call and get a chance to talk about this. I know mindset is it's something I like to talk about because honestly, like, my struggles have been insane with mindset over the years. And in saying that, I want to also say that I am by no means perfect by now. I still struggle with this regularly, but I want to share with you kind of my journey of how I've developed my mindset, how I've rationalized my mindset, and then how I can kind of adjust my mindset and manipulate it, and the ways I figured out how to do that so that I don't consistently fall into that little negative pool of blah. So I just wanted to start by sharing with you one of the things that really bothers me in this world. I don't know if you've seen a lot of people. I have a lot of friends who, are negative minded, as I'm sure a lot of you do as well. And one of the things that drives me crazy is when they say, I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist. And to that I say, that's just a really easy cop-out to give yourself to say that you're not a pessimist, because anytime I see anyone claim they're a realist, basically that means that they're always expecting that the worst is going to happen to them. So I want you to just take realist out of your vocabulary, make it pessimist or optimist, and I hope that you will all choose to be optimists. And that doesn't mean it's flowers and unicorns and rainbows all the time, but like Mindy said, it means that if something bad does happen, have a solution ready for it. And don't just make it a pity party, but say, man, this happened, but here's what I'm going to do to fix it. So it's not all just a pity party and let's invite all of our friends and cry about this together or complain about it. I don't know, some of you might have seen this picture I had up before a lot of you got on. I don't know if it will let me screen share this from my end, but yeah, let me see if it will do this really quick. If you guys can all see this, someone posted this cartoon on my timeline today, and I was like, that is kind of perfect for today. I'm hoping it's showing up on your end, but basically it's a little cartoon, and it has two reception windows. One is for complaints, one is for gratitude. There's a long line of people waiting at the complaints window, nobody waiting at the gratitude window. And I'd like to think that all of the Beachbody coaches are going to be the ones lining up at that gratitude window, because no matter how bad things get in life, there's always things to be grateful for and always things to be happy about. So I encourage you to get out of the complaints line and get into that gratitude line. All right. I just wanted to share that because I liked it. So back in the day, maybe I generally was a pessimist. Maybe I might have been one of those people that said, yeah, I'm a realist because life sucks. So everything always goes wrong for me. Poor me. I basically always assumed the worst was going to happen. I lived on worry. I lived on fear. I really fed into fear mongering. I let people get to me. And on top of that, I always thought it was about me. So perhaps you've been filtering through Facebook and you see a friend's update and you read it, and it probably has nothing to do with you, but then all of a sudden you make it all about yourself, and you're like, oh my gosh, that must have been me. What did I do to upset this person? Or, something like that. And that's kind of what I lived on. It's like, oh, someone can't come to my party. They must hate me. And that kind of mindset. So one of the things that really kind of was one of my first kicks in the butt for this mindset was I have a friend, his name is Steve, and I will tell you that when this went down, I was not happy about it, but now I thank him for it regularly because he was the first person who had the guts to, get me in the gut with how I was being. He saw what I was doing to myself. He saw that I was making things about myself and living in this bubble, and he's the first person who ever called me out on it. And I remember this was back in the day of AOL instant messaging. And I think the scenario was I had invited him and his girlfriend to a party and they couldn't come. And so of course I was making it about myself because God forbid they had a life outside of my party. And I remember him calling me out and saying, Melanie, this isn't all about you. The world does not revolve around you. And it went on from there. But I remember at the time getting so mad at him. I didn't talk to him for like a while. But then I realized that he was right. And I didn't really realize that with that mindset that I had, I was actually pushing people away from me because of how I was acting. So that was one of my first aha moments. Of course, that didn't really get me out of it because I was stuck in that anger wheel now of being mad at him. It wasn't until later after I developed myself that I realized, you know what, I'm proud of him for having the guts to tell me that. So after that, still living in my realist world, I ended up after college moving back to Michigan, moving back in with my parents, which was actually around when I found Power 90 or P90. I did it at home, but anyways, that's a whole nother story. At that time, I decided I was going to do some theatrical shows. I actually have a BFA in musical theater, which is what I did out of college. And I remember I was in this one play with this woman, and she's someone who had really kind of found herself again. And she was able to read in me some of the things that she used to have in herself as well. And without even my prompting or whatever, one day she came backstage and she gave me this book that she said had helped change her life. And she said she thought I needed it. It's a book called A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. That was probably my first ever personal development book that I'd ever actually read. And when I say read, I mean about 2 years later. I didn't actually read it when she gave it to me because I was kind of taken aback, like, okay. But she saw something in me again, the same way Steve saw that. She saw something and she wanted to help me about that. So great. 2 people now who are trying to help me out of this wheel. And hopefully you have people that are going to help you out of your wheel too. But since I'm on kind of a little theatrical topic that was in theater, I just want to take a moment to talk about energy projection, because some of you might realize this, some of you might not. But one of the things I took away from theater is how energy, though invisible, is exceedingly contagious. So whether you're a performer or group fitness instructor, or whether you've ever had to speak in a room full of people, I want you to think of how much easier it is to speak to a room full of people who's with you, or to people who are just playing on their phones ignoring you. Or if you're a group exercise instructor, you have a room of 20 versus a room of 5. Anything like that, where you have that energy transfer, that works with emotions as well. And that's why the term pity party came into being, because like draws like. So even if you're not vocally saying some of the words, you could easily be projecting that emotion and people could be picking up on it without you even realizing it. I mean, that's why you probably get stressed in certain situations without even realizing why. Like me, I hate airports because I pick up everybody else's stress. And it's not that they're saying anything, it's that they're just emoting it everywhere. Or maybe you've been in line in front of someone and they're behind you clicking their teeth because they're impatient, then you become impatient. It's that same sort of thing. And that's one of the things that I got out of theater. So anyways, I got the book, fast forward on through. That was my first look at personal development books. Now, fast forward to moving back to Chicago after working many weird little jobs in Michigan. I kind of wanted to further progress my mindset training. So I got kind of new agey with some of my books. I read things like Hidden Messages in Water, The Secret, The 4 Agreements, that kind of stuff. But at the time, that's kind of who I was. Those were what spoke to me the most. And honestly, the Hidden Messages in Water shows that energy projection. I don't know if any of you have seen it before, but basically it shows how someone's emotions affects what the water crystal does. When someone's happy, it forms a beautiful snowflake-looking water crystal. When they're angry, it's just a big old blob. And that also was eye-opening to me because I saw that I was creating a lot of the negativity that I was experiencing in my life. So as my mindset started to change, more opportunities seemed to be coming my way. One of those opportunities, of course, being invited to become a coach. And I started it not knowing what I was doing. All I knew was I got this high from all the other people I was around as coaches. Everyone was just a dreamer, a doer, and they projected that on me and they made me want to be better. So I signed up to be a coach, not knowing what the heck I was doing. And right off the bat, most of what carried me was my attitude. We didn't have trainings up front. We didn't have systems. We didn't have any of that. But my attitude towards it is what really kind of drew people in at the start. Now, I had good months, I had bad months, and that all really depended on my mindset and still does to this day. But things started to really explode when I took not only that attitude, but I combined it with action and a system. And this was some years into coaching. There was this thing developed called the game plan, which was now the three vital behaviors and the BAT, business activity tracker. The first training group I ever did was actually a business activity tracker group. And by the time I did this group, basically the way it worked was, it was a little more simplistic. It was set your number of invites for the week, set your number of follow-ups for the week. And it was very, very simple. But the thing that changed in me about that at that point was I had said, you know what? I've gotten to the point to where I don't necessarily care what people think anymore. And I mean, I still do. I mean that in a positive manner. I don't really care what people think, meaning if they're negative, I don't let it bring me down. So I adopted the mindset of it never hurts to ask, because if someone says no, I'm not going to take offense to it. Whereas old me would have gotten mad. I would have complained. I would have said, what did I do? And I just decided with that group that I'm just going to hit the goals that I set, report in every week, no matter what. And I found out that it actually wasn't as hard as I thought. And in the year I started doing that, in 1 year I went from 2-star diamond to 8-star diamond just because I applied the system with the mindset of how I was looking at things. And I mean, that's the main thing, of course. You can have the best mindset in the world, and if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. Like, I want you to think, if you know anyone who's maybe a motivational speaker follower, maybe they're really into Anthony Robbins or Danny Johnson or Les Brown or any one of those motivational speakers, and they follow those people, and you see them posting about this, like, yeah, I'm going to this event, and they spend hundreds of thousands on going to these events frequently, but then you don't really see their life changing. They're just all of a sudden really happy about it. So mindset is definitely important, but you need to let that propel you into action, especially as a coach. And I go off on tangents a lot, so forgive me for that. But I just wanted to talk about a little bit about the things that I've had to overcome as a coach, and that we're going to continue overcoming as coaches. I mean, the fact of the matter is, nothing in life is perfect. It's never going to be perfect. We can't really always change our circumstances, but we can change how we view our circumstances. And over the time that I've been a coach, there's been various changes that have taken place. Early on, years ago, before probably a lot of you were coaches at all, the comp plan actually got changed and the cycle bonus caps got put in. The addition of Shakeology, because that did not exist when I first became a coach. So that all of a sudden came into play, and we had these HD orders to think about. I didn't know what that was all about. Then Success Club came into play. I didn't get it at first. I was angry. I was like, why should someone be setting my goals for me? And then most recently, the changes to the Leads program. And I mean, chances are we're not done with changes. And I'm going to tell you a little secret. Every single time those changes happened, I did get a little mad about it. But then I realized that it's me getting mad about it. It's not them making me mad. It's how I'm viewing it, how I'm viewing the circumstances. And a lot of that anger was coming from a doubt in myself that I had the ability to live up to the new standards that they put into play. And I'd let myself stew in that for a couple days. Luckily, I trained myself by that point not to openly complain about it, because that's one of the worst things you can do. But then my mindset would change, and I'd say, you know what? They're upping the bar based on the things they need to do for the company. I shouldn't get mad about this. I should try to figure out a new plan and figure out, okay, if these are the new standards I have to reach, how the heck am I going to get there, and make a plan to figure out how to get there. And within, and all in all, the comp plan change ended up being not a big deal. I saw where the bar was raised to. I worked for it. Shakeology, I didn't get it at first. I started drinking it. I understood the benefits. I learned more about it. I got it. Success Club, for the first few months, I didn't do it because I didn't get it. But then I got mad at myself. And ever since then, I've made a goal of Success Club every month. And I will say 96% of the time, I have hit it. And I will tell you that the months that I have not hit it are the months when my mindset is down in the pooper. So I want you to go into every month not saying, oh gosh, I hope I can do this, but saying, I'm going to do this. Because if you say, I'm going to do this, you're already setting yourself up to find a plan and find a solution for making that happen. Or if you say, I hope I can do this, it's like you're really waiting for the angels to drop Success Club points in your lap and hoping that it will happen without having really done much of anything yourself, because you don't know what you're supposed to do. So with that positive mindset, you need to talk yourself into saying, I have the ability to do this. And trust me, you do, because I'm a mess. I'm a crazy girl. I get easily distracted and I procrastinate like crazy. So if I can do it, y'all can do it too. There's no huge magic thing behind it. It's about doing what you're being taught by Mindy, by corporate, and believing in yourself that you can do this. Now, if you're being fed a lot of negative energy from outside, then there are ways you can overcome that. I don't know if you've noticed, but the news likes to fearmonger. The world likes to fearmonger. Everyone is trying to make you worry about something, the next big thing. And then you're being fed negative energy from all over and it's just prodding you to join everybody because that's where they're at. But we need to step out of that and get away from it. So if you think about the things that normally rile you up, whether it's the news, certain friends' statuses on Facebook, you have the ability to hide them, FYI, or anything else that is really starting to upset you, it's time to clear that stuff out and start feeding yourself positive stuff. So if you're on this call and you're not currently doing personal development or you've never done personal development, I highly encourage you to do some personal development. Start feeding some positivity into yourself because of that invisible energy that comes with that. If you become more positive, you're going to become more attractive to people that are going to come to you for help. If you're full of negativity and all you do is complain, why are people going to want to come to you for help? Because you're in the same place they are. You need to be above where they are and give them something to reach towards. So it's important to work on changing that mindset. And likewise, with the posting on Facebook, like Mindy said, it's okay to complain once in a while, but make sure you follow up that complaint with, okay, here's what I'm going to do about it. It's not just, I had a bad day. It's always followed up with something that is going to be solution solving and positive. So basically what I want you to take out of this is, I can't tell you exactly what to do because we're all different, but I can give you a few things to think about. So what are some things you can think about? How to change my perspective? How can I see this situation different? Am I seeing everyone's viewpoint here? Is this really about me? How can I make this work for me? What solutions can I find? What type of media and negativity can I avoid? What are some posts I should maybe avoid making on Facebook? And what are some ways that I can stop my own negative self-talk? Because if you can work on overcoming that stuff, then it's going to change your business and it's going to change the way people view you and how they want to be helped by you. So that's basically what I mainly got to say. Hopefully I didn't go off on too many tangents as I tend to do. But yeah, if you have any questions or anyone else, I will close my mouth now.
Melanie, somebody asked, what was there a specific event or moment that things just clicked for you? And what made a difference? I think we answered that about your the book that was given to you and your friend that said, hey, it's not about you. But somebody asked, I'm guessing just how I guess the question, I don't know. She said, for me, I'm finding that leads are more concerned with the pricing rather than the opportunity to make a huge difference in their daily lives, health, energy, fitness, and longevity. How do you respond when pricing is mentioned? So I guess she's asking about how do you deal with this in a positive manner versus negative? Because I do know a lot of people just shut down and they think, I hear this all the time. All my friends are poor, or everybody tells me no. So I guess how do you respond to that since you've hit Success Club? You said at least 90+% of the time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. I don't only sell challenge packs. I sell everything. So I spend a lot of time in step 2 of the invitation process, and I ask a lot of questions and find out. And the more you talk to someone and the more questions you ask, the more you can realize if they're kind of blowing smoke at you or if they literally cannot afford it. And if I decide the point that I think that someone literally cannot afford it right now, I'll say, I understand, but I definitely really want to help you. So what kind of budget are we working with? To find out what the budget is, because maybe they only have $30. They can still get Rock and Body from Shaun T, and you can still help them to get started on program. The main thing for me is I don't ever like to cut people off. So I've given people cheap solutions. I've given people free solutions. And the majority of the time, they eventually come back to me and get a full program, a Shakeology, a challenge pack, whatever. So sometimes it's a matter of figuring out what your motivating factors are as a coach and what your core purpose is, what your core values are, and how can you help this person while still keeping your core values. Because I think a lot of times we do get stuck on, I only have certain things to offer, but chances are you have a lot more to offer than you think as a coach, because people are indeed buying from you. They're not buying just a program. So it's a matter of asking questions to see how you can help them overcome that. And it could be that you'll find out that, they do have the money for it. It's just that the more interest you show in them, the more you care, they're going to trust you, and the more the walls might come down and they'll be like, okay, maybe I was lying to her a little bit. Maybe I'm ready for this. And it's a process. I mean, I don't get yeses right off the bat. When I do, I'm just kind of like, oh, yeah, that took 1 day, not even, or that took an hour. That doesn't happen very often. I'm going to tell you that the couple people I have ready to sign up to be a coach right now are people that I met like 2 years ago at a body pump certification. So sometimes it takes time, and you have to be willing to put in that time, keep that customer list, and know where you last left off with those people, and just keep helping people, because they're going to remember that in the long run. I know that might not be the magical solution action answer you were looking for, or, oh, Melanie's going to give us the perfect sentence that's going to get that challenge pack sold, but sadly, I do not have that.
You know, I think a lot of people, I get this, that, you know, I advanced pretty fast, you know, rank wise, and I was able to quit my job in a short amount of time, and I got lots of messages like that, and people look for that. And, you know, what you said is exactly what I tell people, is that, you know, it takes time. And, you know, I'm one of the 3 vital behaviors trainers, and this is one thing that I teach people, is you have to embrace the 3 vital behaviors every day, consistently. And then when people, you know, get, you know, in their mindset that they're sucking because they're not hitting Success Club, because they're seeing recognition posts all across Facebook of some coaches getting 20, 30, 40 Success Club points, especially if you ever look at the leaderboard in the recognition tab at Coach Online Office. I always tell people is that that's great. There are people out there who are getting 100+ Success Club points a month, but that's because they're marketing themselves, and people want them as a coach, and they are, you know, exhibiting the 3 vital behaviors where it's public to people, and they've been doing it for a long period of time. So like I tell everyone, don't give up. And that is an optimist view, because whenever you basically tell yourself that, you know, I know this is tough, and I know I can do this, instead of the, oh, everybody else is doing so much better than me. That's that difference between the mindset of the negative and the positive. So, you know, I really, you know, encourage everybody to take what Melanie said, take it to heart, and really look at it, you know. And you know, as far as if you're a new coach, as far as asking about your budget, I will just explain too, you know, that make sure you're using that comeback only if you get the price objection. Because in the beginning, I did ask people, what is it, your budget? Oh, let's set you up with whatever challenge pack is on sale. Well, you want to make sure that the program that you're setting people up on is really going to fit them. And that, you know, if somebody comes up with a price objection and is really broke, or, you know, or they keep coming back to price objection, use that right there, because then you get to see if you know, you're able to pay it forward and come up with an alternative solution until they get in a better financial, you know, position. Or you do get to see if they're blowing smoke, you know, like Melanie said, and they do have the money. But because most of the time I found is that it's not that they're cheap, it's not that they're really broke, it's not that they don't believe that the product won't work, they just don't believe in themselves. And then when, you know, if they won't buy a challenge pack and you don't provide an alternative, you know, solution, then it is obvious to them that it is just, they're just a number, or it's just about money. And that's the last thing we want to do, because we want to give this, have this impact on everybody else, where we add value to their life, and we help them to, you know, go from who Melanie was. And, you know, even myself, I was very negative. And I finally realized one day when I woke up and I just said, you know, the more I complain about all these things that I hate in my life, the worse it seems, and the more I attract those people. You know, what you complain about, what you bitch about, what you worry about, you gravitate to, and you really, you know, I don't know, it's, you gravitate towards it, and those people gravitate towards you, and you just stay in that misery. So search for positivity. Personal development is a huge part of what has changed my way of thinking. And, you know, I suggest everybody buy the book Girl Boss, or You Are a Badass, or something from Danny Johnson or Craig Holiday. They're really good about helping you change your mindset, so that you know, like Danny Johnson said, most people think it's about them, and it's an ego thing, and it's hard to hear that, like Melanie said, from her friend. But, you know, and I've told people certain things that really rub them the wrong way, but a good friend would do that. So make sure that you help other people once you change your mindset. Really dig into the personal development, get on these calls, get on the national makeup calls, get to events, because this is what's going to change your mindset and really going to change your business. I see so many coaches out there, you know, across the nation that, you know, I'm friends with, and I see them complain about how broke they are and how they did this and that. And then I just think, good grief, you're telling people, come join Beachbody, because there's this huge income opportunity, and then you're complaining about how broke you are every day. You know, and so just think about how you're making this it look, and not that you have to make it look great. If you're struggling financially, I'm sorry, but then make sure that you are really embracing coaching so you're not struggling. But whenever you're telling people how broke you are and how poor you are and how you can't pay your bills and how you can't pay this and that, people are wondering, well, you keep talking about how great Beachbody is and that you can turn a business into it. Well, what gives? You know, and so those are the things that take a look at your news feed, take a look at the people who are commenting, and look at who you are really attracting. So with that being said, thank you, Melanie, so much for your time. Your words were great. Your tips were great. And everybody, please give her a shout out on Facebook about how awesome she is. I really love to pay it forward to people that have helped us. And if you have anybody in the future or that you know that you think could really benefit from this call, share this with them. I'm going to upload it to YouTube, or I don't know if, yeah, it'll come to mind. Sorry. I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and then you can check my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Mindy Horde, and it will be in the playlist for the Team Relentless calls. So thank you, Melanie. Have a great evening, and everybody have a great week. I challenge all of you to hit Success Club this month and help 3 people. You have 28 days left.
Thank you so much, guys and gals.